of us, and that will be the Nigeria's inflation crisis, the promises and the challenges that we face already, and we'll be joined by a guest who's going to be joining us via phone call to have this conversation with us. Well, despite the Naira's slow but steady appreciation against the dollar, which is welcomed by many Nigerians, the impact on the economy, particularly on food prices, has not been very significant, right? But then let's hear from the president. I mean, the president had made a statement as at yesterday, right? And that statement was talking about the fact that he was going to bring to an end, the inflation that we face currently in our dear country, Nigeria. So let's go and hear it for the president. And when we get to
I
hear
campaign on hope. I have to rest on that hope and push for that hope for the joy of every one of us. The economic is looking good. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Yes, we know we have the challenge of inflation. It's okay. We will bring it down.
All right, so that is the president of Nigeria, our president in the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu right there, where he played host to the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council at the State House yesterday in Abuja. But then let us connect with our guest at this point in time and, get to hear from him, get to know what his thoughts are regarding this conversation today, right? Our guest is none other person but Dr. Austin Mahoh, right? Dr. Austin Mahoh is his name, and he is a public affairs analyst, right? Is a public affairs analyst, is also a publisher at Daybreak newspaper. And that being said, it is also very important to let you in on the fact that you also would be joining the conversation, right, as we go having, this one-on-one, conversation with our guest via a phone call. And while we are trying to connect with him, let's also bring to you the fact, the topic again, just in case you missed it the first time. We're looking at Nigeria's inflation crisis, promises and challenges. Well, good morning to you, Dr. Austin Mahoh.
Yeah, good morning.
Feels good to
Eagle
talk to
FM.
you. That's right. Feels good to talk to you today, or to speak with you today. And as we look at Nigeria's inflation crisis, promises, and the challenges, well, it's no news that the fact that just yesterday the president had made an astounding speech where he made bold to saying that although we're facing challenges, but he's poised to taking us out of the current challenges as well as the inflation that we are going through. This was as he played host to the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council at the State House yesterday in Abuja. Well, that being said, it is also very noteworthy the fact that the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market has seen the Naira gaining against the dollar recently, and this is attributed to various foreign exchange policies by the Central Bank of Nigeria, which, according to them, is aimed at boosting dollar supply and improving, transparency. However, the effect on reducing food prices are yet to be felt, and this is indicating ongoing challenges in the economy despite positive current movements. Now the question is, although we have quite a number of concerns, right, which range from the economic hardship, social unrest, lack of confidence, persistent economic challenges, impact on standard of living, and so on and so forth, but the very first thing on the lips of many Nigerians will be, we are going through tough times. right? And every time that we open the phone lines, we hear Nigerians say people are dying, people are suffering, people who are on, terminal illnesses that have to get their drugs, at a very exorbitant rate, a cost and all of that due to the hardship and everything. And the question now goes that can we not just tackle inflation without recording fatalities on the lives of Nigerians?
The question is, can we tackle?
Yes, can we tackle inflation
in the face of the current hardship?
Yes, without having
hardship and hunger, that has become the bane of Nigerians. And when you talk about hardship and hunger, it has become, we in the media, we say what the particular phrases, that becomes current in a particular time, a particular point in time becomes the dominant theme, which you use to describe what the situation in the country is in actual fact. So you look at the two phrases, or one particularly you use hunger, and often we use hardship. These have become the dominant theme in Nigeria today, and it's well reflected, captured in the media space. And you started your introduction by talking about Mr. President's political meeting with his
Hello? Okay. Seems like we're having a bit of a bad connection right there. Well, anyways, yes, started the conversation with the president's speech while he met with the APC presidential campaign council at the State House yesterday. But then let's jump, into some of the concerns. But before we do so, let's also bring to your eardrums the fact that you should recall that in February 2024, Nigeria's inflation rate had risen to 31.70%, up from 29.90%, right, in January, and as reported by the National Bureau of Statistics. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken responsibility for the economic woes and challenges and assured Nigerians, you and I, of his determination, to tackle inflation. Now, despite this recent protest that's been going on in this regard, but then there are also some shared talk about the need of the fact that the Central Bank of Nigeria, in the person of Yemi Cardoso, remains optimistic about the decrease in inflation due to the targeted policies and improved agricultural productivity. But the president, while addressing the APC Presidential Campaign Council, had also reiterated his commitment to fixing the country's economic issues. Now, this includes reducing inflation while acknowledging the challenges ahead. Dr. Austin, are you there? Hello, Dr. Austin, are you there? All right. Well, we'll still get through to him as much as we can. And he was just giving us a heads up, to the conversation, adding to his voice, to the prevailing conversation. Dr. Austin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm with you.
All right, go ahead. You were giving us, your thoughts on it.
No. I have to continue my thought.
Yes,
what I was trying to say is look, at times when we hear those in power talk, including Mr. President himself, the impression that comes through is that these guys live in alternate universe. They are not. There is as if you have the impression that maybe we the masses of the country, we are the one crazy. We listened to him talk yesterday. He talked about the dollar is improving, the economy is improving. Right. He has given hope to Nigerian student because he has signed the student loan
bill into law
and all that. those are not the fundamental issue. No matter what you see as a leader, it is how your policies, your program affect the average man on the street.
Mm-hmm.
What is the daily reality of the average man on the street? The man on the street, 90% of Nigerians, the middle class has been wiped out. You know, Nigeria is now made up of the rich and the poor. It's either you are rich or you are poor as a result of direct government policies that has made life, you know, unbearable for the ordinary Nigerian. You know, we are now talking in terms of the reality Nigerians are facing. We can't. The cost of survival is so high. The cost of life, when you talk about the cost of drugs in your introductory comment, high. We talk about cost of survival, cost of life. These are the reality the president should wake up to. He shouldn't be ensconced in the gold and marble, the safety of Aso Rock, and be talking down on Nigerians, giving the impression that all is well and his government is doing all within its power, or rather the government has achieved so much to bring succor, you know, to the situation which his government created in the first place. How what the average Nigerians should ask themselves is, how did we get here in the first place? What led to this inflationary trend in the economy? Why are prices of goods going up and not coming down? You can attribute it to two policies of this administration immediately they came into power. One, removal of fuel subsidy. Two, floating of the naira. The downward trend, the catastrophic impact it had on the economy is what we are suffering today. Is what is reflected in the inflationary trend that has led to high prices of goods in the market that has refused to come down. And not until these two factors are brought under control, there's nothing. But you are just like you are just like dancing around the problem without actually addressing the problem.
Yeah, but doctor,
and before you come in, let me just say this.
Okay.
What those two policies have led to, because when you talk about inflation, you talk about demand pull inflation or cost push inflation.
Right.
What is the kind of inflation we are suffering in Nigeria today? It's cost push. Cost of production has gone up as a result of high energy costs, which is a direct consequence of the removal of fuel subsidy.
Right.
Then high cost of production has also gone up as a result of high cost of securing dollar to get inputs, machineries into the country. So these two factors destroyed the Nigerian economy. So whatever other measures government is going to take to tame inflation without looking at these two factors will not work.
All right. Well, that being said, are you saying that the removal of subsidy was a very totally wrong move at the time?
It was. You know, you don't. You know, when we begin to talk about it, and you look back at where we were and where we are now. What strikes me is that, look, although the policy was a campaign issue by the three major candidates, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and of course Bola Tinubu, to say, look, we are going to remove subsidy, is the process of removal that became the issue. You don't remove a policy that has been in place for decades overnight without putting measures in place, you know.
Right.
Without putting measures in place, you know, to deal with the eventual outcome. That is what the government failed to do. You just came into office, and your first day in office is to announce a major policy change. You didn't sit down in the office. Your economic team was not in place. Your ministers were not in place. You didn't come into office, study the situation, look at take proper briefing from those in the system and ask them, when you are doing major policy changes like this, you look at all the scenarios. You play out all the scenarios. When A happen, how will you respond? When B happen, how will you respond? Those are what responsible government all over the world, that is what they do. You don't just come into offices and say subsidy, OT law, subsidy has ended, and you brought about a catastrophic destruction of the Nigeria economy, and now you are now playing catch up, trying to address the problem, which already is almost beyond control. Right. So that is the situation. The problem is I've had occasion to talk about this subsidy problem, for in some other forum, and I say, okay, they said there was the main reason they had to remove subsidy is that there was corruption in the subsidy regime. Who were those? Daniel, help me. Who were those perpetrating this so-called corruption in the subsidy regime? If there were, or there was corruption in the subsidy administration of the subsidy regime, how many people have been brought to book?
Right.
How many people have been prosecuted, jailed as a result of crimes?
Yeah. Hello, are you there? Okay, so how many people have been brought to book? How many people have been jailed is just the question, and then it raises a strong concern in that regard, where schools of thoughts have come to saying, if it is not within the government itself, then where else would it be? Because the average Nigerian is not operating at that high level cadre of governments, where we would say maybe as the truck pusher on the roadways, or maybe it is that one person who is selling at the market in Garki, or maybe that one person who is, at a shop, at a store, trying to see to it that the provision in the store is well, maintained, as well as served to the public at a particular price that would benefit himself or herself. It has to be those who are who had the strength, the power, the power, the authority to sit in that office or in these respective places to look into these matters, and that has been indeed a great concern. Dr. Mahal, you were saying, you asked a very pertinent question, right? And that question is, it really cuts deeply like a knife. But before you continue, let us open the phone line so that we can hear from Nigerians as we also have this conversation. We're still talking the matter that concerns, right, the Nigeria's inflation crisis, the promises and challenges. And just yesterday, the president delivered, a speech and said that inflation, we should not worry about it. We should not bother about it, because he's doing everything, he's putting everything in place to shape the country. But you also want to add your voice to it. The number to do so is 0907-353-0044. The other number is 0908-766-8888. And the WhatsApp portal number is 0909-705-4450. You can send a voice note, send a WhatsApp portal message to the WhatsApp portal number, and your voice will be heralded through the instrumentation of my voice. And of course, we can grow the discourse. How is the inflation affecting you? The inflation that has risen from 29.9% sometime in 2023, now 37 or 31.7% at 70%. Well, let's hear it for the caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, good morning to you. What's your name, please?
Is my name.
Elder Onajo, welcome aboard. Let's have your take.
I don't know whether politicians say they are talking to people or talking to animals. Tell me, somebody say the type of inflation and what is affecting this country. I tell you, say this and this. Since when the president came to power, he have been promising up to now. There's nothing on the ground. Nothing on the ground. He swear as the president of the country, he set fire from the altar of swelling. By removing subsidy, and then people they advise you to return it. He refuse. You do know say a price of very rice. That small mudu is 2,000 naira in Cuba. 2,000 naira. Corn, grounded corn is 1,200 naira. Instead of 200 naira, 1,200 naira grounded corn. In the market now, the price of gari, the red gari is 900 naira. White gari 800 naira. Instead of 200 or 250. And then this man sitting down in the villa that the inflation is coming down. I don't know how politicians they are very wicked. I went to ask Nigeria, this is where politicians take over the government from soldiers. What they gain? What the gain of the ruling? Especially the supporter of this government, they should tell me. Since when this man came to power, what we gain from the government? He should tell us.
All right.
He went to kill us, my brother. Go to market and see how people are dying because of inflation in Nigeria.
Right.
And then you are sitting there saying economic is this and they have destroyed the country. And then experts have tell you return this subsidy, return it. The money you get from this subsidy now, return it for 3 months and take the money repair refinery for people to do this.
Right.
Refinery they continue promising, and then there's nothing hard continue harding.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right,
God bless
Elder.
Nigeria.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Elder.
you.
Well, we have yet another call. Let's just hear it from it, then we get back to our guest. All right, that's a miss right there. Okay, so that's a miss. Doctor, are you there? Hello, Dr. Austin? Hello? Okay, I guess he is unavailable at the moment. Well, we'll get back to him. But then, very strong question, although Najer is asked right there. But let's take yet another call. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Moses.
Moses, okay. Moses, welcome aboard.
Yes. I want to thank God for the life of your guest.
Right.
He assisted me. The government just came in to quickly announce the removal of oil subsidy. But we were told, I don't know how far it is, that the oil subsidy is still in principle. It has not finally been removed. I don't know how, as a journalist, you have made that research.
Right. Okay.
That has been done. Why are we still facing the consequences of oil subsidy that was removed from the beginning? Because high cost of living is hard. Nothing has mellowed down. It's okay. Another thing again, the PMS coming to this country imported from outside. The high cost of dollar is the high cost of the PMS. Good. So in research, I don't know how far. Dangote have started producing the promises of our own, which is 2 weeks, which by now we are waiting for. So for how long should we be waiting for this to cushion the economic challenges that we are facing? Then another one, the issue of this inflation. Do you know that there are individual Nigerians that have millions and billions hidden in their rooms? These monies are found in the hands of these small ordinary Nigerians. Why ordinary Nigerians are talking? That is one of the challenges, that even dollars, they have dollars hidden in their rooms. So what are we saying? So if the Nigerians should come out from this challenge, the first thing to need is the first system that was adopted, whereby money should be controlled. Excess of money in the circulation in some individuals is the root cause of this inflation. Okay, look at the naira that was changed. Up to date, the old naira and the new naira, they are still in place. What kind of system is this? It's a confusion system.
All right.
If the government will question, if the government wants to fight this, so they should go to the root. You say oil subsidy is a scam. Who are those people behind it? Why can't you arrest them and bring them to book?
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
You did.
Thank you so much. Moses right there says, who are those behind this? And he asked a very strong question, whether or not subsidy is still on. Doctor, are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you, Daniel.
Yes,
I'm here.
that's
Can hear you.
you've heard from Nigerians. I mean, some great concern, coming out there. Elder Onajer saying that he doesn't think that the leadership is in touch with the reality that is going on in the society as it regards to the common man, how we are badly affected and hurt, and how people are dying. And he also gave an analysis in terms of the pricing for some commodities, how it has skyrocketed. And then, of course, Moses is here also saying that, look, we say that we remove the subsidy, but it seems as though we're still paying, subsidy, for, PMS. And if you recall on national television, you're talking about, a former Bauchi state governor, Issa Yuguda, come out as saying that it seems as though there is still some monies, there's still some pay being made in terms of subsidy removal and all of that. Well, what are your take on all of this, and so that we can just move on, to some other aspect of this conversation?
Yeah, it's like I said, relating to government reaction and the statement made by Mr. President yesterday. If you think those holding political office, they live in an alternate universe. I'm quite unaware of the daily reality that the average Nigerian is going through. Like Elder Onajer said, do you know when I heard it the first time, I never thought that in my lifetime a 50-kilogram bag of rice will cost over 100,000. But I saw it with my eyes. I've been hearing it. I didn't believe it. And like he said, local rice that people don't even eat before, that people consign to using to feed their animals, is as much as 2,000 naira per mudu. So how can people survive in a system where the minimum wage is 30,000? So you need about 4 months' salaries to be able to buy a bag of rice. It's ridiculous if you ask me. And you relate it to what the second caller said about about the subsidy regime. Being called a scam. If it's a scam, who are the scammers? How many scammers have you brought to book? It is all a reflection of what the situation is. It is what it is. And if we really want to tackle this problem, it's not talking from the villa, it's not talking from the safety, comfort, of Aso Rock Villa, is to look at what the average Nigerian on the street is going through, the reality of his life. And we are all aware of it. Another to that is government shouldn't just be talking. You look at government policies. Is government as we speak, are they really doing anything to caution, the hardship, the economic hardship that the citizens are going through? Certainly not. There's nothing to show. Just yesterday, electricity tariff was increased by about 300%, which will equally have a direct consequence on the inflationary trend we are talking about. It's going to increase the inflation because it's equally going to have impact on cost of production. When we talk about subsidy removal and high energy subsidy removal, which led to high energy costs, and of course the high exchange rates, forget what they are saying. Dollar cannot move from about 700 and it got to about 800, they now come down to about 300. You said you've addressed the problem. You've not, because it has no impact whatsoever on the cost of goods in the market yet, and now you have further increased the cost of energy.
Right.
So it will have direct consequence on cost of production,
let's put a pen
which will impact on inflation.
Yeah, let's put a peg to your thoughts. We've got bills to pay. We'll be right back and we'll continue this conversation, right? The conversation is still trending right here. And yes, this is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. We give you a radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. We'll be right back.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Holy Spirit.
Abuja. Get ready for a night of bliss with Bro Paul Igwe. A time of extraordinary encounter with the Spirit of the Living God. Happening live on Friday, 5th April 2024 at Merit House, Maitama. Time 4 p.m. prompt. Don't miss this night of word, worship, the miraculous, where the glory and power of God shall be manifested and anything is possible. There will be a definite blessing for everyone in attendance. Something new and special just for you. For more inquiries, call the number 0816-553-2784. 0816-553-2784. Remember, one word from God will change your life forever. Powered by Christ Embassy Abuja Zone 1, Immanent in Glory Group.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I suppose it was inevitable. Eagles 102.3.
All right, you're tuned in to Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. We are that radio station that gives you a radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. And like I would say, or as I would say, you are on the YouTube channel right now and you're watching. Well then, and kudos to you. Do well to subscribe, as well as on the Facebook page at Eagles FM Abuja. You are doing the right thing. Follow and press a like, right? We're still talking matters that concern Nigeria's inflation crisis and promises and challenges. And we'll still have our guest via phone call in the person of Dr. Austin Maho. He's a public affairs analyst, publisher, Daybreak newspaper, and we are having that conversation already. Well, then let's look at something, that is quite critical. A lot of people have brought in some concerns that the implication of not tackling, the current inflation rate of 31.70% urgently and decisively might just be some issues that affect or border around hyperinflation, poverty and income inequality, investment and economic growth issues, currency devaluation, social unrest. Well, Dr. Austin, from your perspective view, what specific measures do you think the government should engage in to implement or to combat inflation effectively at a time like this?
Yeah, simple. If the situation persists,
Yes.
it will definitely lead to social unrest. A hungry man has no morality, and people will seek self-help when government refuses to come to their aid to help them. As specific measures, to deal with the inflationary trend in the country, I believe that the first thing government should do is to begin to look at cost of production. Cost of production. If cost of production is high, there's nothing the manufacturer can do but to increase the prices of his goods. It's a no-brainer. And the only way to bring down cost of production, is to look at a critical input in the cost of production, which is energy. High energy costs in no way help the productive capacity of a nation. And that is why all over the world, countries, even in advanced economy, make energy security a national security issue. Energy security a national security issue. So it behoves on government to begin to look at, one, how to guarantee energy security, two, and how to make energy affordable. You can't have a situation whereby the cost of energy is over and beyond the threshold of affordability. With was announced yesterday in terms of increase in tariff of electricity. And when you look at some papers, when they did the analysis, it will cost an average home of 3 bedroom. Forget about the banding, whether you're in band A or band C. To me, it's just government deception. Eventually, all of us will pay that amount, whether you're in band A or band Z. It means nothing. It's trickery on the part of government, which an average Nigerian should be aware of. That look, we've seen all this before, because the government doesn't have the capacity to monitor the discourse to ensure that they deliver on their promises.
But
we've had a situation.
Doctor, let me come in there. The president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had given the right to everybody, stakeholders, to be able to put together their own power, right? And just recently, we read on the front pages of Nigerian newspaper where some governors, in an angry move, have decided that they begun the process of getting their own power for their own states, right? And some persons are beginning to say, process of having their own power derivation for their states, respective states. Kano State is one of it that has said 90% work is already done for the completion of their own power plant, right? And Lagos State and other states are beginning to do that. Yeah. Isn't that
it's fine that they are doing all this.
Yeah.
Fine.
So it's
good that the government has, like what I'm trying to say, has deregulated the power sector in such a way that state, local government, individual can build and distribute power.
Yes.
You understand? But it's achieving this is a long process. We know what went down with Geometric in Abia,
right,
before they were able to disentangle themselves from the distribution company that was in charge of that locality. It's a very long process, but what we are looking at currently is what is obtainable. What can we do with what we have now? And I'm trying as much as possible not to, since we are talking about inflation, not to zero in on power. But power is important. It's a critical factor. If the federal government is talking about all this, do you know that there is a 750 megawatt hydroelectric power plant built with a loan of almost $1 billion that is lying fallow in Zungeru, Niger State?
Lying fallow, Dr. Austin. Let's
yes, lying fallow.
And just take this call very quickly.
Fully built.
Let's take this call very quickly. Yeah, let's take this call.
Commissioned.
Let's take this call.
But not being put in use.
Yeah, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name na Bibi Blessing.
Yes.
The two things now we need for our government to do for us.
Okay.
I greet him. God will bless them. God will bless you too.
All right.
Our president is supposed to do. Now that the dollar is coming down, but our naira is high. You go to the market now.
Baby Blessing, we can barely hear you. Now.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
When you go to the market now, the price of fish is a high. Rice I never see come down. Fuel never see come down. Now what is they supposed to do? They do things. Security and it to come down.
Baby, we can still not hear you a bit. It seems like the network is fluctuating. No. Wait, you said the first thing to be done is what?
Okay.
The first thing to be done is what? Yeah.
Okay. Now, what president supposed to do for us now? May he bring fuel price come down. Everything will come down.
Okay.
And may he give us security.
All right.
Two things now we work for president. If he can listen for us,
all right.
I know say he try to do better, to do Nigeria good. Without that, if dollar come down and the naira they go high, that's because of the price. Because when you go and buy goods, now motor you go take career.
Right.
So many people now they don't pack their car. Now we they go market, now we they know what is happen. So our president just check our market, and they don't pay salary, and they are not increasing people's salary. So how the market go high? Then it be for a call down for us.
All
I wish
right.
her the best president to die. God bless you.
All right then.
God bless you.
Thank you, BB Blessing. Well, Doctor, you heard BB Blessing right there.
It's always good. It's always good to hear from those who are directly impacted, by government policies. Not hearing from the policymakers themselves, like Mr. President was doing from the villa yesterday. Let the president hear from a woman like BB Blessing, who, she put it very simple. Her point was very simple. That look, prices of goods are high because of cost of transportation. Cost of transportation is high because of cost of energy. You understand? The goods that you normally go to the market, and maybe it will cost her about 10,000 to transport from the place of production, maybe from the farm to the market, that will cost her before 10,000. It's now costing her about 50,000 to do that. It impacts on the cost of goods. So it's a no-brainer on the part of government to know that look, the high inflationary rate in the country is as a result of high cost of energy, which impact transportation, moving goods from one part of the country to another, and of course cost of producing these goods. You can't run on generator. Most companies, most factories across the country, they all run on diesel. We know that at a point a liter of diesel was as much as 1,400 naira. So what do you expect to produce at cost to be able to break even? Then after producing, you still have to rely on diesel power truck to move those goods from one part of the country to the other. These are the main issues,
right? And
that is why government should pay attention to cost of energy. And of course, like she said, like BB Blessing said, to conclude my thoughts.
Okay.
Equally look at the high exchange rate. All this can be achieved through direct government intervention and government policy.
All right.
When government go on telling us that you need to save, Daniel.
Yes.
Government said they remove subsidy in order to save money.
That's right.
In order to boost government revenue to build more hospital, build more roads, improve on the standard of infrastructure in the country and all that. Since subsidy was removed, have government been accountable to the savings it has made from the removal of subsidy? Where are the promised infrastructure? Where are the roads? Where are the hospitals? Where are they?
No,
and yet
we're seeing
the citizens are suffering high inflation as a direct consequence of the removal of subsidy. So on the part of the average Nigerian, it's more like double jeopardy. We've not benefited anything from the removal of subsidy.
Let's take this call right now. Hello, good morning. Okay, that's a miss. Keep the calls coming through and let's hear your thoughts. Remember to be civil and responsible with your expression. It's very, very important to do so. I've got a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Alamin calling back from.
All right, Alamin, welcome aboard.
I greet our guest.
I would want to say that we keep it very short, okay? So that because we are having. All right.
I would like for our guest to tell me what state of which state is from. Give me how much was the state FAC allocation as of 2023, and how much the FAC allocation is in last month. The last 5 months, they should give me the figure. I can give you the figure to my state again. So when we say we've not seen the impact of the removal of the subsidy, the fact has increased astronomically. What exactly are the state governors doing with this? Again, it is important. The guys should tell me how much was the state FAC allocation before the removal of subsidy, and how much is it now that the subsidy has been removed.
Okay.
Then tell me what the state government is doing with his own allocation. Thank you.
All right. Well, you've made your point clearly. You're asking, to know. Bottom line and summary, it will be about what are the states now doing, especially now that they are receiving FAC allocation that is almost tripled, in terms of value. But then let's get yet another call right here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, that's a miss. Okay, taking the call again. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr.
Yes.
Edward.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Honorable Edward.
All right, Honorable Edward, welcome aboard. Please keep it short and simple.
Yes,
Go ahead. Straight to the point. No. The network is playing tricks now. Can you hear me?
It's part of
Can you hear me?
implement that's causing network not to work.
Can you hear me now?
You can hear me now, right?
Yes. Go ahead. Please, let's go straight to the point.
The truth is that being part of government does not mean you cannot tell the truth. You cannot say the truth.
Right.
The truth is that you need to, maybe one of these days, you go to market yourself and look at what is happening in the market. Seriously. You see, this removal of subsidy, everybody, when it be contested, they talk about removal of subsidy. Chiku, the Tinubu did the same thing. You finally remove the subsidy. Where is that money going to? I am not accusing Mr. President for the sake of reality. I'm not accusing Mr. President. No, they have increased another, major item in our life. And a major item in our life, that is electricity. What is the plan before removal of all these things? You see, we, the masses, we also have our own problem. When an item is increased, for instance, fuel increase. When they increase fuel, the marketers will increase it, and if they bring it down, they will not bring it down. But to increase it, they increase within 1 minute. That is our problem. So we also look at our own side too, but the government needs to critically look at this. After 7 o'clock program, I went to market to check 1 or 2. Things are already increasing by 15 around 100.
All right. For want of time.
This is too much.
Yeah.
They should increase the salary. All those things. Please.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for want of time, please, let's always try to keep it short and simple. Dr. Austin, just before you have your reaction, to that, let's get some messages via the WhatsApp portal number. This one right here says, this is James from Suleja. Good morning, UD. Good morning to the guest. All right. It says the major takeaway from the president's speech was the acknowledgement of the realities of inflation. But yet, sycophants tell us that the inflation is man-made. Monetary policies alone won't bring down inflation. What about trade policies? What about fiscal policies? These all work hand in hand to complement each other. You remove subsidy from petrol because of corruption. What is also the reason for removing subsidy from education, electricity? Some of the promises he made after removing subsidy, releasing 225,000 metric tons of fertilizers to farmers, 500 billion was approved by the National Assembly, with 200 billion released for cultivation of 500,000 hectares of farmland all year round. Another is infrastructural support funds for states to invest in critical areas. 100 billion to be invested on 3,000 units of 20-seater CNG powered buses. All these were supposed to be ready by March 2024. UD, this is April 2024. Can the government show any evidence of these promises it made? UD would need to caution people. Okay, I get that. I get that. It says we need to caution, matters of concern, false figures that re-echoes the sentiment that they want to share. No state FAC allocation tripled. The highest was Nasarawa that experienced 185% increase. Okay, well then, let's get back to you. Okay, before we come back, let me take this one. Good morning, Daniel. Keep up the good work. Good morning to you. I'm listening to you from Nasarawa State. I greet our guest. It's no doubt tough times for Nigerians. I really asked your guest that technically it was Buhari government that removed subsidy but pushed it to Tinubu to implement. What was Tinubu supposed to do in this kind of case when the former president didn't budget for subsidy payment for the current president? Tekembi Hundu has got that to say. Well, Dr. Maho, let's have your reactions to this, as you also give a closing note for what you think should be the way out so that Nigerians can build trust with the government, because as it stands, it doesn't seem as though that trust is there between the governed and the government.
Well, let me start with the last intervention by one of your listeners. See, Tinubu could have delayed the removal of subsidy.
Right.
Tinubu could have, if Buhari didn't budget for it, like Tinubu did last year, he could have sent a supplementary budget to the National Assembly to provide for it. Those are simple solutions. So those who try to deflect it, to say no, it was not Tinubu's problem, it was Buhari that didn't budget for it. This is just a political way of getting out of a very tight corner. He could have sustained subsidy if he wanted to. And like the message that came from your WhatsApp, look, when Tinubu removed subsidy, he made a plethora of promises, which were highlighted. One, CNG buses, Port Harcourt refinery will come on stream in December, wage award to workers, release of palliative to states. How many of these interventions has the Tinubu administration actually implemented to bring succor to Nigerians? I leave that question to your audience to answer. And one of another of your callers said something about the fact that FAC allocation has increased across board to many state government. You know, there's what we call illusion that if what is the value of 1 million as at this time last year and the value of 1 million today, as at this time last year, a bag of rice, if a worker earning 30,000 could afford to buy a bag of rice, but today a worker earning twice that amount, 60, even 80,000 cannot buy a bag of rice. So more money.
Doctor, just before you go ahead,
more money. Let me just say this before more money does not equate to higher purchasing power. You may have less money and the purchasing power of that money is higher than more money that you can't buy anything with. And I think that's the same thing with more revenue coming into government coffers, and it amounts to nothing. It's just money. It's an illusion. Of more money, but you can't do much with it.
How can we build trust? You know, just one line, because time is against us, very, very, very against us. How can we build trust, in this regard? One line.
How can we build trust? Government should face the reality. Government should come to terms with the reality that the average Nigerian is going through. Government should be able to speak truth to the problem and come up with measures that actually addresses the problem, not talking from this master-servant relationship have to end. Government must come clean with the people. We are tired with a situation of more of the same. We are having more of the same with this administration and with previous administration. What we expect is a total break where government becomes more accountable to the people. Accountability will build trust between the governed and the government.
All right. Thank you so very much, Dr. Austin Maho. You are a public affairs analyst, publisher, Daybreak newspaper. Thank you for your time. We appreciate your school of thought on the matter, and we look forward to having more conversation with you in the coming days. Yeah,
thank you, Daniel. It was nice to be here.
Sure. All right. This is where we would call it a close already, but not without taking this message. Good morning, Mr. Daniel. This is Mr. Uche from Abuja. It's obvious that the government is shooting itself in the foot, and with the recent increment on electricity tariff, you cannot be struggling to bring down the prices of goods and services and yet implementing policies that is bound to increase the cost of production of the same goods and services. That's pure circus movement, says. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much right there. And yes, I see you too, Samuel from Kuje. Well, we are still talking, and that is the bane of it. That is the idea, for us to talk constructively and speak truth to authority. But thank you to each and every one of us that has made that call, to the station to add our voice to national development. Next week is yet another good time. And keep in mind, at top of the hour 10, Martha will be here.